Yo, what is up, everybody? It is your boy MM2K back again with another video, another live stream. What is that live stream? It is GFN Countdown. This is the weekly show where we count down the latest and greatest in Nvidia Geforcenow news during the Nvidia Geforcenow Thursdays, and we introduce to you, we premiere to you the Nvidia Geforcenow Thursday blog. All right, we do that in about 15 minutes from now. So this is the precursor. This is the countdown to that, where we, get everybody together, try to get your speculations all together, and get you to guess what's going to be on the countdown, what's going to be in this week, and we'll talk about it. I wonder what you all think, though, is going to be in this week's countdown. We did have some big news this week. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We definitely had some news this week with the latest drop in news with Nvidia and Xbox coming to a 10-year partnership deal as far as the Windows games. But we had some other stuff happening too, man. We still got the celebration of 3 years of GFN. We've had some server blade upgrades, I believe, in Paris. You know what I'm saying? And we've had a bunch of stuff, man. I'm just curious on what you guys think will be on the top, in the top tier list this week. Let us know. Let us know in the comment section below. This is going to be a fun one. Again, it's going to be hard to top the Xbox news from earlier this week, but we will see if it can be done. Matter of fact, I want to do something here. As I've noticed on the last week's show, the volume was up kind of high. All right, I think I brought that down. I brought that volume down a little bit. I'm going to bring my voice volume up ever so slightly. Bring this music volume down some. There we go. All right. I think we should be good now. Again, let us know. What do you think is going to be the top tier items this week for Nvidia Geforcenow? We have the countdown. I don't have the countdown ready just yet. Here, let me put this down here. We got about 11 minutes. I'm gonna put 12 just to make sure that I don't mess up the embargo. You know what I'm saying? Can't mess up the embargo. All right. So it should be, where's the countdown at? No. There we go. All right. There we go. It's gonna happen in 12 minutes, y'all. The Nvidia Geforcenow countdown is gonna happen in 12 minutes. Let me see. Countdown live, and I don't want to say live, and let's say the reveal. There we go. I think that's more accurate. So people don't think that, oh, what you this isn't live from M2K? Shout out to my brother, Geek to Sneak. Is you live? That's my brother. My brother from another mother. But speaking of Nvidia Geforcenow, I would be remiss if I didn't show you this. Let's go here. You know how we do. Let me make sure I do this right, because I can't hit the wrong button and start revealing stuff to people already. So let me see if I got this right. Let me show you something. There we go. All right. So this is, oh, excuse me, I have to take a sip of that tea. This is pntsnetwork.com. That is the mother site for CloudDosage, HNDC, Hard Knock Digital Culture, and a lot of things that we do. And we've been putting up a lot of Atomic Heart content. Atomic Heart has taken over our soul. So there's a couple of things that we got going on with Atomic Heart. First and foremost, there is my first look, which I presented for Atomic Heart. So you can go and check that out. We did that this week. Had a blast with it, as a matter of fact. And because we had so much fun with Atomic Heart, we created a guide to all of our content. So if you click on, excuse me, if you click on the article, every single thing that we do with Atomic Heart will be put up here. And we actually got to update it because we did a video yesterday. We did a Twitch video yesterday, playthrough about an hour, 45 minutes. But we're really liking this game. So Atomic Heart, which is one that is definitely on our radar as far as how is this thing going to be from beginning to end. We definitely have that game, a page for that game. So if you want to check out the various content that we have for Atomic Heart, you can go to our content guide and check out all the stuff that we have. So that is definitely that. All right, let's do this. Hold on one second. Yo, we got Cold Blood Sensei in the house. What's up, brother? What's going on with you, man? You been playing some? You got your PSVR 2 ready? I'm still trying to figure out how I'm gonna bamboozle my wife and let me get that. I got to figure that one out. But shout out to everybody and hit that like button. Let everybody know that we're live. Again, this is the countdown to the Nvidia Geforce weekly blog, where we go over the latest and greatest and the Geforcenow news. Let me turn this down in my headset. Let me turn my headset down a little bit. So we have a countdown here, and I think the countdown is for a minute. So when we get to a minute here, I'm going to go to the countdown over there. Clive is in the house. What's going on, good brother? Clive, good to see you, man. Good to see you, brother. Cold Blood Sensei says, hell no. UPS still didn't deliver mine. I'm pissed to high heavens. I would be too, man. I would be too. Good to see our good brother Clive in the house. Again, we got about 8 minutes until we have the reveal of the Nvidia Geforcenow Thursday blog. I'm excited to talk about this week's information and talk about this week's release. But again, the big question that continues to loom: what is going to make our top 3 this week? Is there going to be something else that's going to be able to top the blockbuster news that we had earlier this week, when Nvidia and Xbox dropped the bombshell that Nvidia's platform is going to start receiving Xbox Studio games? I've been very vocal. It's no mystery. I've been very vocal on how I feel about the Activision Blizzard deal part of it. And I understand I might be on my own aisle, but I have no control over what happens. So it's cool for cloud gamers to know that if the deal does go through, that you're going to start seeing games like Call of Duty on the 4080 Super Pods. You're going to be, and you know what that means? That means you're going to be playing with the best fidelity, the best latency, that only 1% of the game, less than 1% of the gaming world can experience on Call of Duty. That's game changing. There were people out here with rigs, meaning the majority of rigs out here are not going to be able to handle the performance and the latency that you're experiencing in the cloud. Wow, that's crazy. You'll be in that upper 1 percentile. You'll be an elitist with your chai tea and your pinky in the sky, having your Triscuits. You know what I'm saying? Triscuits and cheese in the morning. You'll be an elitist gamer. You can't beat that with a stick in my book. Let me see here. He says, why isn't my comment picker working? Let's go to our social plane. Cold Blood says, I hope they ban Atomic Heart for Xbox. Laugh out loud. The outrage would be funny as hell. I saw that. I'm gonna address that. I'm gonna make an attempt to address that. When I first saw the backlash, again, there's some developers, I won't get into the names of them or where they're from. There's some developers that are upset that the game is being promoted, and they don't want to see it. So in lieu of them not wanting to see it, they ban anybody that shows the game or that's talking about the game on Twitter. I don't want to say ban them because they can't ban them from Twitter, but they're blocking them. So they won't see it. And these are people from war-torn Ukraine. I'm not gonna, however you look at this conflict, is up to you. I'm not gonna tell you how to see it one way or another. I will just say that if you are somebody from that region, as I've worked and talked to people from Boosteroid who are dealing with the same thing, it's a very sensitive matter to them, and I understandably so, regardless of which way you come down on it. And if what they want to do is block people that are talking about the game because, according to them, the developer has had rhetoric pro the escalation and pro the confrontation. They don't, and so therefore they don't want to see it. That I don't have a problem with whatsoever. I know people are upset because some of these individuals that have chosen to do that are of major developers, but you know, you got to be able to sympathize with people. I think that's one thing that we lack in society is the ability to empathize and sympathize with people on reasonable standards. I'm not trying to get too political. I'm not one that falls in line with this anxiety-filled society that we're dealing with, to where they feel like there should be no conflict whatsoever. So if you don't agree with me, we're going to shut you down and make sure that you can't have a livelihood or ever do anything ever again. I'm not down with that. But something like that, where buildings are exploding next to you and there's death and things are happening to women and children, if you don't want to see stuff from people that are pro that, I get it. I get it. And some may say my interpretation of what's going on may be off, whatever. But that's their interpretation of it. That's how they feel. That's their reality. They don't want to see it, fine. The thing where I don't follow is trying to tell people what to play. I wasn't down with that for Hogwarts Legacy. I hope that comes to GFN, by the way. And I'm not down with that here. So again, if you are in support of not supporting the game, I recognize your right to do so. But other people are going to play let people play what they're going to play. We don't control people's lives. We're not paying their light bills. We're not putting food in their refrigerators. You know what I'm saying? People use games to wind down. I know I've been at critical points in my life where gaming was a lifesaver for me. It caused me to stop, not to do some crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Where I could wind down and just relax and be like, oh man, I feel so much better now. To get into that and to try to direct people in a Manchurian, if I can use that term, kind of way, me personally, I'm just not for it. I don't speak. I don't represent anybody else on this. I'm just speaking solely for myself. So I recognize people's rights to push away from the table themselves. But I'm enjoying the game. And don't try to take the game away from me. Those are my thoughts. Cold Blood, you are. I thought I was bad when it came to okay. Oh, time for the countdown. Let me stop. Oh, gotta go. What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy, MM2K of PNTS Network and CloudDosage, back again with another GFN countdown. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you're here with us. This is the show where we go over and we reveal the latest from the GFN Thursday blog that comes out every week. Fantastic blog over one of our favorite platforms, if not our favorite platform in the cloud, Nvidia Geforcenow. We're a tad bit late. We're about a few seconds late with this portion of the show because of my good friend, the nut, the craze ball. No, my good friend and longtime supporter, Cold Blood Sensei. We were sitting there chopping it up, and I went into one of my rants because he always gets me triggered. I went into one of my rants and lost track of time. With that being said, we are ready to go right now. And we are here for the reveal. We're live. We're live with the Nvidia Geforcenow countdown reveal. Before I get into all that, I want to shout out my good friend here. I'm doing something, as you're seeing. I'm trying to procrastinate the moving along here because let's see here. I guess I can do this. I can put this out here now. Because, I was going to say, there we go. What are we doing here? Come on, man. Come on. All right. I was trying to procrastinate. Because I'm trying to put this out here on the internets, on the interwebs. But we are live. And before I get into all that, though, I want to shout out my good friend who has made it, my mentor, all things cloud gaming. Tick, 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 boom, says Clive in London. Shout out to Clive. He also has a wonderful Nvidia Geforcenow show and video that he puts out every Thursday as well. So definitely check all that stuff out. Fantastic stuff. All right. With that said, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it with this week's blog. And you know what? I have my notes up, but I got the wrong notes up. as usual. All right, so let's do this. The cloud just got bigger. Nvidia and Microsoft announced this week that they will be working to bring PC Xbox Game Studio games to the Geforcenow library, including titles from Bethesda, Mohang Studios, and Activision, pending closure of Microsoft's acquisition. With 6 new games joining the cloud this week for members to stream, it's a jam-packed GFN Thursday, plus Ultimate members can now access cloud-based RTX 4080 cloud servers in around Paris, the latest city to light up on the update map. Keep checking GFN Thursday to see which RTX 4080 SuperPod upgrade is completed next. All right, so with that said, we got to get ready for this Nvidia Geforcenow countdown, right? Should we? Should we not? Let's do it. And we're going to do it with our number 3 item. Let's talk about it. Let's go.
Number 3.
The games, and the games. All right. So, game on, y'all. A new week means new GFN Thursday games. Sons of the Forest, the highly anticipated sequel to The Forest from the Enright Games, places gamers on a cannibal-infested island after crash landing, surviving alone or pair up online with a buddy online. And I believe we have some video here. Don't we have some video here? Yes, we do. Let's go. That is video upcoming of Sons of Forest. Sons of Forest is an indie game that a lot of you guys may not have heard of, unless you're someone like my good friend Cold Blood Sensei in the chat, who is an PlayStation aficionado. This was an indie game that was big for PlayStation, I believe. If my memory serves me correct. With that said, let's continue on. Earlier in the week, members were able to stream Atomic Heart. Yes, love that game. The action role-playing game from Munfish Day and Date from the cloud. Check out the full list of new titles that are coming, that are going to be available to stream this week on Nvidia Geforcenow. And let me do this. Let me make this, before I show this to you guys and gals, let's make this bigger for the people in the back. All right, these are the games this week. The aforementioned Atomic Heart is a new release via Steam. Blood Bowl 3 is a new release on Steam and Epic Games Store as of today. Chef Life, a restaurant simulator, new release on Steam February 23rd. Again, the aforementioned Sons of the Forest is a new release on Steam February 23rd. Ember Knights is also a release on Steam. What else we got? We got Cartel Tycoon that is coming via Epic Games. So great stuff nonetheless, y'all. Cool stuff to see. Some cool games. Atomic Heart, Sons of the Forest, just to name a few. Definitely check them out. I can't say enough good stuff about Atomic Heart. We may get into that later. Will we? Well, if we do, you know what? Nah, let's talk about it now. Here goes our next item up on the countdown.
Number 2.
Our number 2 item this week is the aforementioned Atomic Heart. Man, let's make that. We got to make that one bigger for the people in the back. All right, so let's talk about it. If it'll let me show you some gameplay. In a mad and sublime utopian world, take part in explosion encounters, adapt your fighting style to each opponent, use your environment and upgrade your equipment to fulfill your mission. If you want to reach the truth, you'll have to pay in blood. Also, don't forget, you can read up about this game and get warped right into its GFN Play page in the browser by going to cloudosage.com/games/atomic-heart. And let me show you how that works. Hold on one second. Give me a moment. Let's put this visual to rest. And I do want to show you guys and gals what I'm talking about. Whoops, that was the wrong thing. So this is an actual direct link to the Atomic Heart page on the CloudDosage website. And as you can see here, every single cloud platform that has access to the game, their Play Now button will be lit up. If you click that Play Now button, as long as you're in a browser, like a Chromium browser that can play Nvidia Geforcenow, you click on that Play Now button and it'll take you directly to the play page for Atomic Heart. You can't beat that with a stick, y'all. So definitely check that out. Dope integration from our good friends over at CloudDosage.com. You're gonna want to check that out. Gives you the Metacritic score and all that good stuff. And I'm gonna tell you, I don't follow Metacritic scores because the games that I like are not the ones that are the most thought of for mass consumption. You got journalists and journos out here that are writing things about games, and I don't know what they're talking about or what they're thinking. And if you're under the same realm that I am when it comes to that, having cloud platforms like Nvidia Geforcenow that allows you to play these games in the cloud without you having to go buy expensive hardware, that's a great money saver for you. I definitely love this game, cherish this game. It's a great way to play this game with all of its visual fidelity. I mean, it looks great. I mean, I get that it's in other places, and that's cool and all. But again, without the need of having to spring for an expensive rig or dropping a whole bunch of money on a console, or really playing it on another platform that doesn't really give it its fidelity, its due in fidelity. You play this thing in the Nvidia Geforcenow, particularly that Ultimate tier, it's some of the best. I was in awe playing this game. So you definitely want to go check out that page, read more, keep up with Atomic Heart. It's great stuff that they're doing over there at CloudDosage.com. All right. But like we always say, man, there can only be one. As much as I love Atomic Heart, there can only be one winner. All right. And those were some great runner-ups. I'm glad to see more games, you know what I'm saying, get their shine on GFN. I'm glad to see Atomic Heart. Finally, that was one of my most anticipated games, and I'm glad to be able to play it on Nvidia Geforcenow with the power of the 4080 Super Pods. That's all fantastic, lovely, and stuff. But like we always say, there can only be one. And who is that one? Let's get to it right now.
Number 1.
GFN and Xbox. Look, we can't avoid it. This was the 500-pound gorilla elephant rhino in the room. This was huge news. Humongous news. And we got to talk about this. We have Nvidia Geforcenow receiving Xbox Game Studio games that are in the Windows Store via PC. It is finally happening. And if the Activision Blizzard, if the APK deal goes through, you're going to see Call of Duty in the cloud, powered by Nvidia Geforcenow's AI, machine learning, and to me, most importantly, those 4080 Super Pods. All right, with no further ado, let's talk about this one. Nvidia and Microsoft's 10-year deal to bring the Xbox PC game library to GeForce Now is a major boost for cloud gaming and brings incredible choice to gamers. It's the perfect bow to wrap up GeForce Now's anniversary month, expanding over 1,500 titles available to stream. Working to bring Xbox, PC games franchises and titles to GeForce Now, such as Halo, Minecraft, and Elder Scrolls will begin immediately. Games from Activision like Call of Duty and Overwatch are on the horizon once Microsoft's acquisition of Activision closes. GeForce Now members will be able to stream these titles across their devices with the flexibility to easily switch between underpowered PCs, Macs, Chromebooks, smartphones, and more. Xbox Game Studios PC games available on third-party stores like Steam or Epic Game Store will be among the first streamed through GeForce Now. The partnership also marks the first games that will be available on the Windows Store, support for which will begin soon. It's an exciting time for all gamers as the partnership will give more people more choice and higher performance. Stay tuned to GFN Thursdays for news on the latest Microsoft titles coming to GeForce Now. This, my friends, is huge. Huge on monumental levels. All right. I just can't. I'm at a loss for words. To see games possibly like Starfield come to the platform. Future games like Avowed. I mean, these are games that would be released within the 10-year span. Well, while they have this 10-year partnership. Let's go back to the graphic. Let's go back to the graphic and let's break down the graphic. We have Halo. We have Arcane Studios. What is that game? Oh gosh, the Vampire Hunter open world game that they got coming out. Redfall, Starfield. I mean, all these games and all the works from these studios that you see here have the potential of coming to Nvidia GeForce Now. And if the Activision Blizzard deal comes through, then you're going to see games like Call of Duty finally make it. This is huge for cloud gamers. This is a big step for cloud gamers, particularly for the Activision Blizzard part. I definitely, as the cloud gamer in me, I've expressed my overall, things about this deal in other realms, but right now I'm focusing on the cloud gamer side of me. The cloud gamer side of me is giddy to know that I'm going to have the ability to try Starfield out on the 4080 SuperPods. I'm going to have the ability to try out Redfall on the 4080 SuperPods. I'm going to have the ability to, competitively play Call of Duty, possibly on the 4080 SuperPods, if that deal goes through. You can't beat that with a stick. And there's other prior games that I have that I can't play right now on the Nvidia GeForce Now that I would love to have over there. Like, for instance, I would love to be able to play Rage 2. I love Rage 2. And that was one of my favorite games on Stadia. So to be able to play that on the Nvidia GeForce Now, that's an oldie, but definitely a goodie that I would love to be able to play on the platform. So we're going to see how all this pans out. But again, this is huge news for cloud gamers in particular for two reasons. Number one, the potential that if Call of Duty does get absorbed by Microsoft in this deal, it's coming to Nvidia GeForce Now. That's huge within itself. But even if that doesn't happen, and this is the genius of the people at Nvidia, as I feel, even if that doesn't happen, they are still getting access to some of the more revered Xbox games for people that are within the cloud, that are of the cloud community, that may have seen them go over to another platform to try to play these games and not really feel it, not really dig it. Like, oh man, this right here in the cloud isn't quite there yet. Now they know that they're going to have the ability to play it on a lot of the most reliable, as far as fidelity, performance, all that stuff. And really a lot more reliable than its native platform, for the simple fact that it's more accessible on TVs and dongles and stuff like that. You don't have to have a Samsung TV with a specialized app. You can just get the Android app and play it, right? Or you don't have to have a console in order to play it. And just go get me a $20 dongle and I can just hook up Nvidia Geforcenow and I can start playing. That's what it's all about to me when it comes to cloud gaming and how your platform expands its footprint to different cloud gamers. So I'm excited. And I really think that it breaks down that wall again, as I was just elaborating on, of people that may see this lineup in the cloud space. Because I think people in the cloud space are more excited about this lineup. We're taking out Call of Duty and the Activision games. We're going to say we're not talking about them yet because that deal isn't going through. I'm just talking about what's going to be available regardless if that deal goes through or not. It's more or less cloud gamers that are more excited about that, which is fine. This is a cloud gaming show. And they may look at the native cloud gaming app for these games and they really want to play them. But I hear time and time again from many cloud gamers, you know what? It didn't work out for me. I didn't like it. I just gave up because, those games look appealing to me. But when I played the native application, I didn't like it. It wasn't enjoyable at all. Now they're going to get an opportunity to play it on a much more reliable cloud platform that has a bigger footprint and is more accessible. That's the word I was looking for. That's more when you talk about disenfranchised gamers and gamers who were fans of Stadia but now trying to find their way through the forest after Stadia's closure, accessibility is key. And that accessibility includes the web, it includes mobile, and it includes dongles and TVs. And if your accessibility on the web is subpar, if your accessibility on dongles and TV, if your accessibility through mobile is all right, it's okay. That's your best footing is through mobile. But your accessibility through web and TVs in particular is porous in comparison to your peers. I don't know you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's the best suited way to play these games. And I'm gonna give the kudos to Nvidia Geforcenow in that round. I definitely am. I'd rather play these games there. That's with or without the Game Pass element. Like, we're going to be waiting to see if you can have Game Pass Ultimate or PC Game Pass and that be enough to grant you access to these games. We're going to see. But even if not, if you got to buy these games a la carte, whatever. Like, I have the native application where Atomic Heart was available. No, I was not playing it there. I'm playing it on Nvidia Geforcenow. I bought a license on Steam at a discount, and I'm happy I did so. I no, a game with all those bells and whistles fidelity wise, I'm not playing there. No, absolutely not. And there are those cloud gamers that they don't necessarily need the bells and whistles, but they need reliability and they need accessibility. So I'm glad to see this. So that's my spiel about all this. I'm happy to see this. Those are just my thoughts. We got some honorable mentions, and then I'm going to get through the honorable mentions, and then we're going to go back to the cloud. Let me do this though. I want to, as we always do, before we get to the honorable mentions, I want to go get these videos that we have here open. Patient. I want to put these videos natively in the I want to put these videos natively in the queue. Okay, we did do that. All right. And now we're going to go back to our regularly scheduled slideshow. All right, there we go. That is the wrong one. There you go. I knew you could do it. And we'll get rid of that. All right, now we're going to get to the honorable mentions. All right. Ultimate members can now access cloud-based RTX 4080 servers in and around Paris. So that's dope. So they're continuing to expand. They're continuing to upgrade. And now they've added Paris to the list of places over there in Europe that you can get the 4080 SuperPOD. So they're expanding fast, man. They're not playing around, and I'm excited to see that. So our good friends over in Paris can now get access to the 4080 class servers in and around Paris. Also, with the wrap up of Geforcenow's 3 years of GFN celebrations, members are sharing their winning Geforcenow moments on Twitter and Facebook for a chance to win an MSI ultra-wide gaming monitor. Perfect with an ultimate membership. Join the conversation and add your own favorite moments. So make sure you go do that and check that out. And last, but certainly not least, Gaming for Mental Health begins this weekend. There are plenty of great companies supporting this event, including Nvidia Geforcenow. Let me go down here to this. And this is CGTV, the streaming group that I belong to, and they are actually participating in the Gaming for Mental Health. I want to show you how you can access this, but first let me continue. CGTV will be co-presenting streams to help with this effort. To learn more, we have a link that I'm going to be putting in the chat right now. And then I'm going to be pinning in the chat Gaming for Mental Health link. Putting that in the chat right now. And definitely check that out, y'all. Oh, is it going to? Okay. Everything's moving kind of slow. What is going on? Come on. Oh, come on, YouTube. What's wrong? What's wrong, YouTube? You can do it, baby. You can do it. All right. So go check that out. Here goes this link to CGTV. And again, CGTV streamers are participating in it. Here goes the link for Gaming for Mental Health. So right here, you can get all the information, get more information on some of the publishers. As you can see here on this graphic, can I, and they're gonna let me get the graphic up a little further, but you can sign up for the event here, right? And there are so many companies like, Geforcenow who are participating and supporting it. This is a great event that's being hosted by Board's Dad Plays Games. Shout out to him and all the great work that he does for his individual platform and brand, and over there for the Rock platform as well. I had a fantastic time with those guys about a couple of weeks ago, I believe it was, or was it last week? Well, I think it was last week. I sat down with those guys on the Rock Stars panel, and we talked about gaming there. So definitely a great event. Unfortunately, I won't be participating this week, but there are a lot of great content creators that will be participating because of a scheduling conflict that I have with my wife. I won't be participating, but don't let me be the one that ruins the show. Go check out this event. Go check us out over at CGTV and check out all the great content creators that will be participating. If you want to learn more, just click on that link, go to the Gaming for Mental Health section, click on that, and there you go. There's going to be massive giveaways, and it starts tomorrow. and it spreads through the 26th. All right. So definitely check that out. All right. Great stuff. So with that said, well, you know what? I would also be remiss if I didn't show you guys this. Again, if you want great Geforcenow news, there's really no better place to go than to CloudDosage. You can simply type in gfn.clouddosage.com and it'll take you directly to this page where you'll get access to the latest and greatest in Nvidia Geforcenow news. You can't beat it. So go over to clouddosage.com to get the latest and greatest in Nvidia Geforcenow. All right, news. Also, we over at PNTS Network, that is the mother site for CloudDosage, Hard Knock Digital Culture, all this great stuff. We are hosting various articles and things that not just talk about GFN, but we're focused on the games. And we're, as of late, we've been focused on Atomic Heart. So we got 2 articles about Atomic Heart. The first one highlights my first look via the game, via Geforcenow Ultimate. And then we have a page dedicated to Atomic Heart gameplays that may be spread all over the place, Twitch, whatever, different content creators. So you're definitely going to want to check out those 2 pieces of article if you too are excited about Atomic Heart, and just check out our content in general. Check out my latest rant podcast talking about the announcement as it was made. Can't beat it with a stick. Xbox, Geforcenow combining forces to bring you more games in the sky under that great fidelity and performance and reliability of the Nvidia Geforcenow and the Nvidia Geforcenow Priority Plus Ultimate tiers. All right, that is it. Woo! That is it for the countdown portion of today's show. It's time for me to rehydrate. Time for me to stop babbling. And now it's time for me to get to your questions and your comments. So let's do that right now. So again, I want to shout out to Clive. He said, tick, tick, boom. Oh, let me get back here to this screen. Let me not drop water all over my new mechanical Red Dragon keyboard, because I would be very upset with myself if I were to do that. Shout out to Clive. Let's see here. We got XPC Gaming 2017. He says, what up, MM2KA? What's up? We got Geek to Sneak in the house. He says, hey, yo. We also got Geek to Sneak. He says, you don't even like Xbox, though. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not the biggest Xbox ecosystem fan. But there's no denying that there's interest in games that are coming out of that camp. Like, I'm a former fanboy of Bethesda. I think they kind of fell off a little bit in recent years, but we'll see if they're going to take the mantle back with Starfield. We'll see that. I'm interested in games like Avowed. I wouldn't mind trying out Redfall. You know what I'm saying? But there are the catalog of games, the back catalog of games that they have now under the Xbox Game Studios that I want to play again, like Rage 2. Even Fallout 76. If we can get that on Nvidia Geforcenow, I can tinker around with that again. So even though I'm not a big fan of the Xbox ecosystem, like I'm not a big fan of Game Pass. I'm not a big fan of xCloud. And I'm not a fan of the Xbox consoles because the monster that's supposed to eat monsters for breakfast is always splitting hairs on the big ticket games with the PlayStation 5. in my PlayStation 5, the digital edition only costs $400, where the monster that eats monsters costs $500. And when you look out in the market, even the most staunchest Xbox enthusiasts will tell you the monster that eats monsters looks like that they heavily decreased the production on that. It's hard to find it anywhere, not because people want it, but they're just not creating a lot of it, and they're creating a whole bunch of S's. It's a repeat of what happened last generation with the Xbox One X. It's not good, and it's not good for a reason. It's not. A lot of people feel like it's not valuable to them, but there are some games within the ecosystem that do hold my interest. Am I willing to play am I willing to play them on xCloud? No, because xCloud isn't reliable enough for me. Am I willing to buy an Xbox Series S? No, it doesn't. It's not going to have the shelf life. The Series S is not going to have a great shelf life, in my opinion. Even though it's only $300, and I'm a fan of 4K. And because I'm a fan of 4K, is the Xbox Series X worth the purchase? No, it's not, in my opinion. But Starfield, Redfall, Hellblade, some of those games to where I'm interested in seeing how they turn out. Avowed, you know, just to even if I gotta buy them, if they garner enough interest by the time they release. I'll tell you one, I'm definitely going to buy Starfield. I'm going to buy Starfield. But not only that, I've recently become, I don't want to say a fan, but I've recently become more positive about Call of Duty when I haven't been in years. And I'm very interested in it. It's just the unfortunate circumstances is I really can't play it natively the way that I want to. I could get it for PlayStation 5. I don't know. I just don't. Call of Duty, I really don't want to play on consoles. I'd rather play it on PC. I'd rather be able to hit them bells and whistles and uptick it. And I can't play it natively the way I would want to. So Geforcenow is the next best option. So if those games come to Geforce, Diablo, oh man, if that deal does go through and I get access to Diablo, that'd be great. That being said, this is a great deal for Nvidia Geforcenow, because as a cloud gaming enthusiast, even powerful platforms like Nvidia Geforcenow, what they need is they need more games. They need as many games as possible. The games is what's really holding Nvidia Geforcenow from breaking through the mainstream. That's what's doing it. So once they get a hold of the mainstream, and then the mainstream fully understands and gets rid of those dubious lies they've been told that cloud gaming will never be on par with, you know, in these infant years of the reemergence of cloud gaming, we're only 3 years in, and they've already surpassed dedicated device gaming, including PCs. There's only 1% of gamers that can experience, that have a better experience with fidelity and performance and latency than Nvidia Geforcenow Ultimate members. Less than 1%. So when you take all that into account, getting more games that have critically mass attention to them is a good thing for Nvidia Geforcenow, even if the Activision Blizzard deal doesn't go through. So that's the answer to that question. That I even though I don't like what's it called? Even I don't like Xbox. I don't like the ecosystem. I don't like the ecosystem. And I don't like the direction of the management. But that's not to say that there are no titles of interest that are coming out of that field. And one in particular, which is Starfield, which I'm very interested in. And I can go on the record and say I plan to buy. If it's coming in Nvidia Geforce now, I'm going to buy that game. You know what I mean? Geek to Sneak says xCloud is trash. Yeah, it is. It is. And as a cloud gaming enthusiast, you know, I mean, I hate. I'll put it like this. Let me backtrack that. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to get more sympathetic here, even though, you know, you guys like MM2K sympathetic. I'm not going to say that xCloud is trash. What I'll say is xCloud doesn't check off the boxes for me at all. I have no desire to try xCloud for anything. I don't even want to give it a try. I do, though, however, appreciate the fact that there are others that may enjoy it, and that may be the best solution for them as far as what they feel. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And if being able to play Starfield and Redfall there, if that checked off all the boxes for them, great, not a problem. But the option for those, because those people don't represent all, they represent a major portion of the cloud gaming community, but they don't represent all. I mean, as time is passing here, if you're looking at the percentages, you know, when people are gauged and asked where they like to play in the cloud since Stadia's closed, when you look at that, it's like 50-50 to where at the beginning it was kind of like 60-40, closer to like 70-30 in favor of Xbox. But now it's starting to even out. It's evened out, rather. It's evened out. And I don't know if it's going to continue to trend towards GFN or not. So that is the major wing. That is a major wing within the cloud gaming community. But they're not the entire cloud gaming community. There's also another major wing of the cloud gaming community that, again, xCloud doesn't check the boxes for them for, and they would still love to experience these games. And they're more enthusiastic about these games than I am. See, sometimes when I speak on what's great for the greater cloud community, it's not always a one-for-one representation of my exact opinion. I always put the news out there on how it affects all of the cloud community in totality. As I see it, I try to look at it as unbiased as possible. And then I give my spiel. You know what I'm saying? That's a little bit more catered to me. Even though I have my apprehensions about the Xbox ecosystem, and really my apprehensions about this deal altogether, as far as the long-term ramifications that it presents for gaming, I cannot deny the importance and the excitement that this causes, and this brings up for cloud gamers. There's no denying that, despite my own personal feelings. So I think that's just good journalism on my behalf, to be able to say, to put aside my own feelings and represent what this means for other people besides myself. It's unselfish, unbiased journalism. So even though the only one I'm really interested in is Starfield, and to be honest, I'm not super excited about Starfield. I'm interested in it. I know that's just me. There's a lot of people super excited about all these Xbox games. They're just not excited about the platform itself and maybe the lack of reliability in their eyes to play it. Now they're not going to have that problem. So I'm excited. And it's not taking away from anybody. In order to play these games, they don't have to remove them from xCloud. The people that enjoy xCloud and feel like that it's great for them and it's the best solution for gaming or just gaming in the cloud for them, nothing changes for them. It just, now that this is available for Nvidia Geforce Now, for people where Nvidia Geforce Now checks off that box for them. So that's a win-win, I think, for cloud gamers. All right. Deuce X Macchiato says, as much as I like my Xbox Series X, there is no denying that. Most, keep the same energy. Don't play them trash games from Xbox Now just because you can play them on GFN. Again, I may not be super excited for all of them. Like the one that holds my interest is Starfield. And I didn't know if I was going to buy it. Because it's not a... I mean, again, I don't see enough of the game. From what I have saw from the game, it's not making me say, ooh, I gotta go get an Xbox. And if it's not making me say, ooh, I gotta go get an Xbox, it's definitely not making me say, ooh, I gotta upgrade my motherboard, get a new CPU, and get a new GPU in order to play this, because that's going to be like 3 times the amount of me just getting an Xbox. It's not worth me even trying on X. I think xCloud would it's like putting Kool-Aid on a steak, on a well-cooked steak. It would just mess up the experience for me. So I wouldn't even want to play it on xCloud, because if I played on xCloud, I think it would tarnish the experience for me. For me, that's just for me. But if Starfield, you know, the games that I'm interested in, I'll buy. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be some deals on Starfield. We'll see. We're going to see if it's worth it. I don't mind buying a game even if I'm not 100% sold on it. And I'll buy Starfield. But without GFN being an option, I wasn't buying it. Now, I have Game Pass just because there are times that I do testing for different things. And not all tests, most tests don't supply you the game themselves. But some tests, they come, I don't want to, I'm not going to be mean. They require you to have the game already. So I have Game Pass. And shout out to the homie Geek to Sneak, who showed some of us a cool way to get Game Pass on the cheap. Pennies on the dollar. Holla! So I got Game Pass. I'm not sold on the Xbox catalog though, personally. But again, cold blood, if you haven't observed already, the greater cloud community is. And because they are, I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them. And some of these games are games that are getting a lot of critical attention to them. And games that are getting critical attention to them, being on Geforcenow is only good for Geforcenow. I mean, can you imagine? Like, for instance, when somebody goes to play Starfield on xCloud, and they're like, ugh. And they're like, oh man, I mean, I want to get an X for this, but then I don't. Don't worry. If you're really not into the Xbox ecosystem like that, don't worry. Just buy the game on Steam or off the Windows Store and play it on GFN. And to a lot of people who don't want to go buy an Xbox for it, want those fidelity bells and whistles, and definitely don't, an xCloud isn't an option for them, going out and just out front buying the game for $70 opposed to paying $15 a month after month after month after month if they don't know the Geek to Sneak method. So I might have everybody hitting your DMs, Geek to Sneak. If you don't know the Geek to Sneak method and you don't want to pay the 15 after 15 after 15, and you just want to outright buy the game, and you do it, let's say if you do end up liking it, and that's one of your favorite games, but you just don't really care about anything else Xbox, this now presents a more fathomable option for you. And I think it's great. I think it's great. And I'm excited for cloud gamers that are excited about this. I'm excited for them. So no, this isn't me like now all of a sudden wanting to play the, I mean, look, if there's a way to have Game Pass and still get access to these games via GFN, okay, there you go. Because then I'm not doing anything extra in order to access these games. But when it comes to games that I'm interested in, right now the only one I'm interested in is Starfield. Opposite of my back catalog that I already have on PC, but I can't play in the cloud. Well, I could play in the cloud, but I ain't playing it on xCloud. No, I'm not playing Rage. I'm not playing Rage 2 on xCloud. No way. No way. That's just me. All right. Geek Denise Sneak says, yeah, I have to get me a 2 terabyte NVMe SSD for my PC so I can download more games. 1 terabyte is not enough these days. The only console I'm going to play from now on is Nintendo's. Yeah. Yeah, Geek, that would be perfect for you because you're a Game Pass aficionado. I'm not sure how this is going to work though. I'm pretty confident that your Game Pass Ultimate or Game Pass PC subscription is going to grant you access to these games because they're connecting the Windows Store to it. So I can't see why it wouldn't work like how my Ubisoft Plus connection, I have Ubisoft Plus. So my Ubisoft Plus connection grants me access to the games that are in the Ubisoft store, right? So I don't see where that Ubisoft, where it would work differently, especially if this is the Windows store. Because there are times, I believe in the past, unless things have changed, where I've logged in to the Windows store to look at a game that was on what game was that as a matter? It was Gears. I think it was Gears 5. And in the Windows store, I believe, if my memory is serving me correct, it indicated to me that Gears was available to me for free or no additional charge, rather, because I had Windows. So because they're making the Windows integration, and look, in the long term, I don't think Microsoft really cares if you're accessing the game through Game Pass. They don't care. They've made it abundantly clear that they'd rather you have Game Pass. You know what I'm saying? They'd rather you have Game Pass. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to build that subscription service model up. So if this helps like 2 million more people get Game Pass or whatever amount, get Game Pass, I don't think Microsoft is going to care. So in that proposal, if Microsoft isn't just doing some wordplay, but I don't think they are. I think the people at Nvidia are very smart cookies, and they're very smart for the simple fact that they got this Game Pass deal. I mean, they got this Xbox deal despite of the Activision Blizzard deal. See, the other deals are like, yeah, you know, this deal holds water if the Activision Blizzard deal goes through. Nvidia was like, puppy, you got to give us our milk and cookies now. So again, because of how Xbox is marketing Game Pass, I can't see why they would be upset if you can get Game Pass and still access these games through GFN. So what I'm trying to say, Geek to Sneak, to your point is, I think you're 1,000% right. And and look, Game Pass would get more pings and get more activity for me. It would make Game Pass a more definitive purchase for me if I know I can try their games on Nvidia Geforcenow. You can't beat that with a stick, because their cloud platform just isn't ready. It just isn't there. for the masses. It isn't there for the masses. I tried xCloud multiple times. It pales in comparison to Luna. Exactly. Yeah, it does. To Luna, GFN, and Stadia. God. He said, God rest its soul. Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, again, if you like it, I love it. If you're enjoying xCloud, then enjoy it. Don't let me stop you at all. But understand, having more to eat at lunch than spaghetti is great. It's okay. Let us get the chicken fingers and fries too. Let there be a multitude of ways to access these games. And nobody's saying that GFN is the tell-all be-all the way to play these games. For some people, xCloud is more feasible or whatever. That's fine, whatever. But for gamers like me and Geek to Sneak, nah. I'm just saying. There's a lot of great games on Game Pass. xCloud isn't the best way to play any of them. Hey, you saying it, not me, brother. Perfect Dark, Hellblade 2, Fable, Gears of War are all titles I'm anticipating. I do want to play Starfield, but I'm not excited for it, says Geek to Sneak. He says, honestly, nothing about PlayStation 5 made me say, ooh, I got to get a PlayStation 5. God of War came close. And that's fine. As someone who's had access to, this is what I got to say about PlayStation 5 though. I'm saddened that they're not pursuing their games coming to Nvidia Geforcenow. I'm saddened by that. Like they experimented with God of War. I would have thought that they would have, continued down that path. I just think right now the PlayStation games are better. Look, Deathloop, even though that's now on every platform, that was a PlayStation exclusive. That was better than anything Xbox had to offer, and that was because of the coordination with PlayStation. Like they told you that when they won a few awards for Deathloop, Arcane did, and when they got on stage, they said the input that we got from PlayStation was invaluable. So Deathloop, when it came out, I got Horizon Forbidden West that I'm gonna try out. Just having access to the Last of Us games, even though they're remakes, and Ghost of Tsushima. What else? God of War, Forspoken. I think there was a campaign of hate on Forspoken, and I see Forspoken is opted into Geforcenow, so hopefully that comes soon. Forspoken. Their games are just better to me. And it's sad to see that PlayStation is kind of backing away from this to where Xbox is now embracing it. I mean, we know why Xbox is embracing it, but whatever the reason is, it's happening. So yeah, I'm sad to see that, but because quite frankly, to this point, their games are just better. And might I say, well, now this is a Geforcenow show. I mean, we talk about whatever, we could talk about whatever, but I don't want to take too much focus off of Geforcenow. I'm just going to say that I hope that PlayStation comes back to the table with their PC games. Those are my thoughts. Ron Slusher in the house. What's going on? Geek says, what people don't know is some games that were on PC and Game Pass already worked on GFN. Yeah, I think there were some games, but then I think they pulled them. Ron Slusher said, "What about them?" No, I don't. No. I ain't. I don't know much about them, Ron. I don't know much about them. God bless their souls. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. With that being said, those are you guys' comments. And thank you so much. This was a fun episode. Again, this Nvidia Geforcenow deal with Xbox is so fantastic. Because regardless of how you feel about the Activision Blizzard deal, the APK deal, they are now getting access to games now, Xbox games now. And so that means that when Starfield is released, you know, we can try it out there. So we'll see. All right. Ultimate stuff. And don't forget, y'all, here, let me put this back up here on the screen. Don't forget, y'all, to go check this out. Check out CGTV's Gaming Participation, Gaming for Mental Health. It starts tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of giveaways if you watch this. If you watch these events, it's going to be massive giveaways. So you're definitely going to want to check this out. And we got participation from so many good folks, including Nvidia Geforcenow. All right. So definitely check that out. All right. With that said, I appreciate everybody. Stop it, geek. With that said, I appreciate everybody for coming through. Oh, later today, I'm going to be streaming more Atomic Heart. I almost said Atomic Nut. Y'all got me thinking about black. I almost said Atomic Nut. I'm gonna leave that alone. Let me stop. Y'all know how I get. My brain gets in this scrambles words. Join me later today on CloudDosage streams. Join me on CloudDosage streams as I stream more Atomic Heart. And then I'm going to give a shout out to Good Vibes Gaming. He gave me a great suggestion. I'm going to shout him out. Y'all know how I be spazzing mentally, man. Geek, you know how I be spazzing, man. You can't. That damn Ron Slusher, he always sets me up, bro. Wild Hearts? Now, Wild Hearts is on. I'm gonna wait till your comment pops up. Let me finish this part. That's very interesting. Check me out, Atomic Heart, and then I want to give a shout out to Good Vibes Gaming. He gave me a great tip for Division 2. Gave me this fantastic build, y'all. Y'all saw me earlier. I was playing Division 2 via Nvidia Geforcenow. I was getting my ass kicked. He gave me access to this new build. It's like butter, baby. It's like butter. Not no parquet, not no margarine, strictly butter, baby. I'm cutting through these mugs like butter. So I'm going to give my bro his props because he's killing it out here on the Division 2 scene. And he's doing this thing over there on Call of Duty, man. I really like this guy. And he deserves his props. It's good Vibes Gaming. So check him out. But I'm going to be playing some Division 2 as well. All right. So with that said, so stay tuned. Make sure you're following me. CloudDosage streams, MM2K Gaming on YouTube. Those are the two places on YouTube where I stream games. Also check me out, twitch.tv/MightyMost2000. And don't forget PNTS Network. Don't forget our Atomic Heart guide, content guide, and also don't forget my first look. Atomic Heart, Nvidia Geforcenow. It looks so pretty. It's so pretty. Let me go to the comments here. Yeah, you know how I be spazzing mentally, geek. You know, when that damn Ron Slusher, he ain't nothing but trouble. Bro, you have to play Wild Hearts. That's interesting because my homie Jay Wags told me that it was trash. But you're more of an RPG player, geek, than he is. So I'm gonna go with you. Wild Horse is on Geforcenow, right? I believe so. I might have to check it out, bro. I can get it on the deal. Yo, he says, how long did the grind take for those pieces? Oh no, man. Look, the way the Division 2 is now, bro, I had everything already. I had 2 of everything. I'm gonna send you a link to that video, Geek to Sneak. What you're gonna want to do though is the thing that I don't have is the because you need the Kingbreaker. You need the Kingbreaker assault rifle. That's gonna be your main weapon. Cut through these mugs like butter. And so after you get the Kingbreaker, there's a magazine that gives you 20 additional rounds in the magazine. That makes it unfair. That just turns you into God status. But for some reason, I can't find that. It's the 7.62. It's called the Sturdy Style Mag. And for some reason, I can't get it. I've been watching all these tutorials about how to get it, and I can't get it. I hope they didn't take it from the game. And that might be what happened. They took it from the game. But I'm going to keep looking because I cannot get this piece to save my life. But yeah, once you get that, and there's some other things you got to do too. Like you may have the pieces, Geek, but they got to be rolled right too. And it's focused on critical hit chance. As long as you get your critical hit chance up to 50%, then you're cutting through mugs. Idealistically, you want to get your critical hit damage up to 130%, but I'm only at 71% now because I don't have everything rolled right. So I'm still looking for these pieces. You know what I'm saying? As I get the pieces and they get rolled right and I can do some other things with them, then I'm gonna be then it's not even gonna be any competition. I'm cutting through mugs like butter now, not even there and not even having everything rolled right. And this gives you 1.7 million defense. Now, when rolled right, I'm at 1.6 million right now, and hopefully I'll get to 1.7. But I got to show you the link, man. It's crazy. If you're a Division 2 aficionado like me and Geek, then you'll understand what all this means. Good Vibes Gaming, good brother, and he's killing it on the Division 2 scene, man. He knows his stuff. So when he gave me that bill, bro, and he DM'd it to me, man, that was the best thing he could have ever done. So I'm gonna give him his flyers, man. Shout out to him. All right, y'all. You have 2 Kingbreakers. Yeah, bro. Yeah. You need that Kingbreaker. And then there's other stuff too. And then even if you don't have it by now, Geek, you might be able to make it. You might be able to go to the workbench and make it. All right. So don't forget, guys, more Atomic Heart later today, some Division 2. And tomorrow, don't forget, is PlayStation Day. I don't know if I'm going to do an NRO podcast or just a PlayStation show. We're going to talk about it. But until you'll find out and do enough time. But until next time, you all have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Hey, Geek, me and you got to wrap. I don't like tech builds either, but this is a hybrid. It's a tech build / assault build. And what it does is it utilizes your tech to make your like turret and stuff stronger. The things that you deploy, your skills stronger. That's the only reason why it's a tech build, is that it makes your deployed weapons stronger. But it's an assault build and it's a tribrid, really. It's a tech build, an assault build, and it gives you 1.7 million defense. It's the best of all worlds, bro. I'm telling you, this is not atypical. I'm gonna send this to you, bro. You go, just try it. Just start working towards it. Get it up, get it going. By the time you get done, you might start off at like 1.5 million defense. You just gotta roll some things. Just follow what he's, bruh. It's sick. I've never cut through, but in all of my time playing Division 2, I've never had this much of an easy time cutting through mugs. I'm telling you, it's sick. All right, enough of the Division 2 talk, which you can play via Nvidia Geforce now. See y'all next time. Peace.